community service or court fee shall be satisfied. If law enforcement authorities determine that charges will not be filed, then eligibility will be contingent upon the local school policies. Moving traffic offenses shall not affect the eligibility unless there's drugs, alcohol, or injuries to others. So if a student gets a speeding ticket, that is not going to affect their eligibility. An example would be if a student went out on a weekend and got an MIP, a minor in possession of alcohol, and receives a court date for that. That student would be ineligible until the court date is over and all the penalties are taken care of, whether it was a fee or community service. Along with that, MSHSAA has a self-reporting guideline. If an incident like that MIP that I was just talking about would happen, each student is responsible to notify the school of any and all situations that would affect his or her eligibility. If a student does not notify the school of the situation prior to the school's discovery, that student will be ineligible for 365 days. This is put into place to put some responsibility on the students. We know that kids are going to make mistakes, but when they make mistakes, they have to own their mistakes and let the school know if that would happen. Our high school guidelines over tobacco and alcohol and other drugs are also attached for your guys' review. We will work with you to help each of your students. As I said earlier, students are going to make mistakes, and we are not here to ruin any student's career, but instead we're going to help them along and mature as young adults to make better decisions. Students, they represent you, they represent the school, the coaches, the team, and themselves every day. So we want to help them become better people and make the best choices possible. Moving on to some other Jefferson guidelines. After school detention or out of school suspension or extracurricular activity suspension. As many of you know, a couple years ago, the high school got rid of in-school suspension or ISS. So the students now, in return, they'll either get an after-school detention, extracurricular suspension, or an out-of-school suspension. A student placed on any of these will not be able to participate in practice, they will not be able to participate in a game until their suspension is served. And after that suspension is served, a coach may require that reasonable practice time and general conditioning missed by the athlete be made up before they can participate in any game. Moving on to club sports or AAU sports. I know we have a large number of students that play club sports or AAU sports, which I think is a great thing for us, that our kids are wanting to get better outside of school. But a club sport or AAU sport is not a school sport. All school sports take priority during their season. So games and practices of the school sport cannot be missed for a club sport or for an AAU sport. If there are any instances where this would happen, please contact your coach and contact me, and we will work with you through that. In general, the athletic eligibility for each student is a privilege given by the school. It is not a right. So these students are looked up by the younger generation of Blue Jays, so they are strongly encouraged to be good role models at all times. Moving on to the college-bound students. If you have a student that plans on participating in athletics during college, please let myself, our high school counselor, Mrs. Runze, and their high school coach know as early as possible. Over the last couple years, we've been blessed to have a few students go to the next level and experience everything that goes along with that. So those parents would obviously be a great resource as well. The high school coaches, the counselor, and the athletic director are all here for the support to help any student get to college, whether it's athletics or academics. And just a reminder that the academic scholarships, majority of the time, are worth a lot more than any athletic scholarships. So that's why we all, the parents, the coaches, administration, all need to stress the classroom first. All right, we're almost getting finished. In your guys' handout there, you guys also should have a social media page in your handout. All the information from the middle school athletic programs and the high school athletic programs come through social media, whether it's our website, which is jeffersonbluejays.com, or it's through Twitter. So I encourage everybody to use our website and follow the specific sport and also the high school and the middle school account on Twitter. If you do not have Twitter, you can text that number that's on that sheet, and you will get text updates every time a tweet is sent out. So if you don't do Twitter, you can get a text for every time somebody sends something out. For new parents, one feature on our website that I really like is if we've got an away game and you're going somewhere that you've never been at, if you click on that team schedule and you click on that game, it will give you directions to that field or the gym, wherever it is. Sometimes if we're playing softball or baseball or something like that, the field is not at the school district. So if you go on that schedule and you click on that sport, it will take you to the correct place. I think on the Twitter accounts and our website is a great way to stay in touch with the Jefferson Athletics, so please check those out. Also on that sheet on the bottom, you have a list of start dates for practices for the fall, the winter, and the spring sports. The middle school and the high school vary for the fall and winter, and then the spring they're the same. So I just put that in there so everybody has that information. Season passes, we do have season passes here for the high school and middle school. If you have multiple kids participating in different sports, or you have one kid that participates in multiple sports, I think it's a great deal. It's $80 for a family, and that's for the mom and the dad and then any sibling that they have. Or we have individual passes for $40. That will get you into any home contest, whether it's high school or middle school here. We're going to start selling those on August 1st in the high school athletic office, or when you guys have registration, you guys can come, you can get them in. Transfers, if we have anybody that's coming here for the first time, that's going to be at Jefferson for the first time, if I have not talked to you already, please stop by afterwards and come talk to me. We'll have to fill out some additional paperwork for you. Now on to online registration. Everybody should have a packet for the online registration. We're going to continue that for next year. We started it last year, and all in hopes of cutting out all the paperwork for the parents. Depending on how fast it works, how fast you are with computers, it could take a couple minutes. If you're not very good with computers, it might take a little bit longer. If you used it last year, you do not have to go through all that stuff again. You should be able to log in and just click your kid to a sport. If you're new or your child did not play a sport here last year, you should have directions, follow those step-by-step directions, and that will walk you through it. The things that you will need to have to complete the online registration is your insurance card, a current email that you'll have access to, and then also the internet access. If there's anybody tonight that wants to complete this, I do not have any computers set up in here, but I do in the room down the hallway. So if you'd like to complete that tonight, feel free to stay and do that. Online registration for high school and also middle school this year must be done before the first day of practice. Your child will not be able to participate. Same thing is kind of like the physical. That is not done before the first day of practice. Your child will have to sit there until it's complete. So please, you guys will have all summer to get that done before July 31st for the high school and fall sports. So please get that done this summer. Are there any questions about online registration? Yes. So right now the website still has not been able to do a middle school, split the middle school and high school. So if you have a middle school kid, just click on the high school one, and form them in there, and then when they get into the system, then we can split them up into middle school and high school. But for the online registration part, you'll have to register them as a high school student. Fall sports schedule in your packet. On the very back of the last page is the fall sports schedule as well. Now, I would like to say that is 100% done. It should be, but I would almost guarantee you that something on that schedule is going to change by August. So, in August, I will send that out again, but most of those dates should be set in stone. There should not be too many changes, but if I had to guess, there will probably be a change or two. For the fall sports, the only sport that this would affect would be volleyball, and then in the winter, 2 basketballs. We are moving all of our home start times up to 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock. So all of our basketball and volleyball games at home at the high school are getting moved from 6 o'clock to 5:30. And the majority of our away games are getting moved up to 5:30 as well. So just look at the times next to the game. Before you leave, if anybody that did not get a golf tournament, we have our annual Spike Strikes Hoops golf tournament on June 23rd. If you guys are interested in playing in that, please stop by the desk and grab a form. It's a great time. All the proceeds go to our Boosters Club, which returns money back to the athletic or the activities programs. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions about your child's physical, if it's current or not, please stop by the table and Andrea will help you out. Also, we still have a lot of Blue Jay gear over there. They're really cheap. There's some things over there that are worth $75, $80. We're selling them for $5 tonight. So if you guys have money or you guys are interested in that, please stop by over there and grab anything you want. Are there any other questions? All right, I appreciate everybody coming out here. I want to thank everybody for coming out. If you have a football player, we're going to have a football parent meeting in here starting in 5 minutes. If you have a cheerleader, we're going to have a meeting in 5 minutes in the cafeteria. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. I hope everybody enjoys their summer. Thanks.